I wake up every morning to a Charise email and text message.
And then so Don C just confirmed.
Oh, there goes that name again. Don C.
He'll be here. So
Okay. Oh, you're gonna have a lit situation.
So it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a nice time. It's gonna be a nice time. But there is grassroots.
I'm still mad about that.
Well, it was bars, bro.
Okay.
Killing that.
That
was right across the street.
Yeah, that happened that day.
That was home court advantage. That was really unfair. Really unfair.
Could have been it.
What's good though, fellas, man? Let's pod, as they say. Let's pod today. How's everything?
I actually hate that damn phrase.
Yeah, you hate the term?
A bunch of whales.
Let's pod.
Wow. I just ignore it, man, because pod is an actual thing now.
I get it.
2022.
Yeah.
So I just don't give a fuck no more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Fuck all that bullshit. Let's state the obvious right now, okay? Mm-hmm. If you don't know, you're going to know now. You see this man glowing? Fuck Bruce Leroy's glow. You know why this man is glowing? We back on his home turf.
Yeah,
oh, good call. Good call.
Home turf.
He back in the
that
land.
There's no kryptonite. There's no supervillains. Nothing. He is back to being McKinday Adidapo.
That is true. We are back in the Hyde Park land. We are literally across the street at this fine establishment, which you can see here in the background. At Chemistry, man. Shout out to Rico Nance.
Yes, sir.
He just used this space. Man, Mike P is also a part of this establishment. So my man Kimon Kindred is in the back doing all the light and the whole situation. You know what I'm saying?
Profits are up, man. You know,
yeah, man. This is home, man. This definitely feels very comfortable, man, for sure.
So tell us about the very unsavory character that the hooker that hugged you.
That boy here gonna make something up.
Definitely a hooker.
What did I miss, man?
It's we were parking the car, and when I got out of the car,
we were done parking, okay? We were walking.
You know, I do happen to know people that live here,
right.
And a lady who stayed in the same building. She's a neighbor, very nice lady. I forget her name, but her and my mom's birthday is like the same day. We found out.
Don't bring mom into this, bro.
I'm dead serious. One day we were doing laundry. That's how we started talking, and she was like. Laundry. I was like, you remind me of my mom a little bit.
Wow.
She was like, your mom must be sweet, blah, blah, blah.
That's the line you went with to get the milk? That's the line you went with?
Definitely wasn't trying to do none of that.
Shit.
Just to have a polite conversation with a neighbor. When we got out the car, she just so happened to be hitting the corner. I was like, oh, hey, neighbor, because I moved in November. So
she had on heels and a little skirt.
She did not.
And yellow ribbons in her hair. And a dress right after hair, the Coca Cabana. God damn it.
All lies.
And she went to hug somebody else, and somebody else, and somebody else. I'm looking like, damn.
No, actually, what really happened was she was trying to hurry up and get in the house because Kenwood just got out. And we were talking about how we always knew you stay in the house after 3:15 and you don't come outside until 4:15, 4:30 because the kids flood this area. And that's the last place you want to be.
You admit to knowing her, living next to her, doing activities with her, and having a conversation with her.
Say nothing about. We did laundry in the laundry room. That's not an activity.
I don't do laundry with random people, with neighbors. I don't.
You do? Do you live in an apartment building? Well, then you don't have an issue.
I just want to did you guys meet up at a certain time every week to do laundry, or was it just random?
No, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
GTD. Got them draws.
Definitely did not.
How was your week, sir?
No part
Teacher
of
the week.
Man, actually it was really busy, man. I mean, shout out to the crew. After we left the show yesterday, Jesus Christ. Damn. After we left the show last week, I had my first installment of Vamp On over at Ina Mays in Wicker Park.
How'd that go?
Shout out Mark and Brian Jupiter, Chef Brian Jupiter. And shout out not Sam. Jesus. See, I ain't slept last night. Corey Wilkes.
Because you was shorty.
And Binky. Corey Wilkes and Binky. We did like a little improv kind of set. And, it was the first time we did it, so we had a few technical issues that we had to work around.
I shot it. Yeah, throw that out there.
Fat Man came, pointed the camera at some things. It was pretty cool.
I couldn't make it, bro. I was tired as fuck.
We had a nice crew of people came out, man. A lot of family came out.
It's a dope concept, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was really dope, man. It's just like we kind of, one of us starts off with something, and then everybody builds off of that, and then we just kind of freestyle and feel the vibe.
Like Legos?
So that was dope, man. That was dope. Then right after that, the next day, I feel like I did something important. No, I woke up the next day.
He said, I feel like I did something important.
To check an email, and had an email from the city. Looks like your boy's gonna be DJing at the Taste of Chicago, bro.
Hey.
Like I ain't even something I looked for. There was a sister that used to be on that committee.
Flex.
Yep, she showed up. She was like, hey, we met a long time ago. We'd really be interested in having you open up Taste of Chicago. So it looks like I got a 2-hour slot at the Taste.
Damn.
Then, we finished the deal. So coming this on Cinco de Mayo, over at Baseline over there on Michigan, 2239, I think, South Michigan. Us, Trace, Generations, Tequila, myself, Aston Hayes, one of the besties. We're doing a Cinco de Mayo Drunken Spelling Bee event.
Leon Rogers is on that.
Leon Rogers is hosting that.
Leon.
Yep. Then I had a consultant session. There's a new festival coming to Chicago. It's called Juneteenth Fest, done by Village Leadership Academy. Chopping up with them about hosting and doing some house DJ for that festival. That's going to be on June 18th in Douglas Park. So, man, the event game is on skyrocket, man. Silver Room Block Party announced this week, so there's some business to be done there.
This is an infomercial.
Man.
When you gonna stop, right?
Collective Genius is on the up. That's all I can tell you. If you're not in tune with Collective Genius LLC, you're gonna need to be, because my hands on everything up in this city. Period. Point blank. And that ain't gonna stop. So it's been a week.
So wait a minute.
Somewhere in there, I found a way to teach some kids, about entrepreneurship and business. So it's been a week.
They're getting it from the right person,
Because I got all the keys.
That's what's up, happening. How was your week, sir?
It was good, bro. Of course, I don't go to work, so I still didn't go to work after training. I don't care. It's a thing, but I enjoyed a great family day this past weekend, man, with my family, bro. Of course, you got to have family day with family. It only makes sense,
Yeah, can't have it without
my
family.
actual blood family from the same womb and cock type
not
family.
Not the family you had in the suburbs.
Not the hood family. No, not people low. Right, you know what I'm saying? We went to the range, man. Something I think more families should do, bro. Went to the range.
I saw your shots too, man. Good. You was decent out there.
Well, I'm putting zombies under 6 feet underneath real life, bro.
I need to go.
They have to die. You know what I'm saying? Or just when the insurrection comes again, because these white folks is crazy. They gonna do that bullshit again. Just stay away from me. We shot 9s, 45 shotguns, M4s, everything, man. And it's amazing. You don't realize the power of a handgun until you actually shoot one, and you shoot it repeatedly, bro. So you give that gun to somebody who may not be all the way right, bro. It's going down. Somebody
who's just out here flailing with it.
Somebody who's not taught. Somebody who's been insecure or bullied their whole life, and you get Columbine. You get all these school shootings and subway shootings, man. You get things like that, man. But we had fun. We went back to our parents' house. My mom cooked so much catfish and just some good ass home cooking, man. And we all sat down, chopped up this family. I had my son with me, bro. This motherfucker was going crazy, eating. We couldn't go to the range with him because he's pretty strong, and he might just shoot everybody up in that bitch.
Not on purpose, obviously.
Not on purpose, but he
just
might,
out of
might lay a motherfucker down. And I ain't got the money to pay for everybody.
No.
I just don't, But it was cool, man. And just the bond of seeing people that you grew up with and watching your parents grow older, dog. We had a conversation, and I ain't gonna be too much longer, but I don't give a fuck about being long anyway. Pause.
What?
Yeah, I'm saying I'm long, so I'm cool. I'm actually okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Want me to say it again?
Said, wait a minute, please.
That'll probably be long though, right?
Said, wait a minute.
Nah, man. You realize how time waits for no one, bro. So I remember our parents. My dad was always buttoned up tight, zipped up. Didn't miss details. Not saying he does now, but he's let his guard down because he's retired. He's chilling. So a lot of stuff you don't give a fuck about. And my mom, in her older age, she's a bit more sensitive. And I'm looking like, so now you have to treat your parents differently, the same way they have to treat you differently after you're an adult, bro. It was just a wonderful thing to see, man.
That's super funny. First of all, ammunition is too goddamn expensive to be taking 45 people to go shoot 12 different guns. That had to be about $600 worth of ammunition by itself.
It was more than
That's ridiculous.
It was a lot.
Yeah, I mean that anyway. But I do feel you though. I agree. Like my sister shoots, and she hasn't taken her daughters to shoot because they're just a little bit too young. But she's definitely been educating them about the importance of understanding what shooting is and why you need to be able to shoot and how to protect yourself. I definitely agree with that, man. But I was also going to say this part, like you talking about you got to be nice to your family. My mama called me right before we start the show. She in Milwaukee, right? The Bucks finna play the Bulls. My mama talking about hey, so I think the Bucks are going to win. Like, you talking crazy, lady? Like, that's how you feel? She is right. They gonna bust the Bulls' head wide open. Pause.
Yeah, she's out of there. Yeah.
What?
Nothing major.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
how was your week, sir?
Oh, thanks for asking. Yeah, nothing to talk about, nothing to report. Sorry, I'm here.
That's terrible.
It's good. I just keep
no 18-hour shifts.
That's a standard at this point.
No 15-minute bar sessions. Pause.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
No, just grinding.
Right.
Working on a lot. Trying to get some deals closed and working for the squad. That's it. We're gonna be great. Anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it because we got a lot to possibly cover.
If he could be like Mac, wanna be like Mac. You talking about some working to close the deal? I've been closed 7.
You know what's fucked up, dog? Totally off base, bro. You said like Mike get triggered this thought. Bulls fans, Jordan fans have no right to talk about anybody else on earth. And you know why? This man literally told y'all wear some drawers, and guess what y'all did?
I didn't buy those.
Y'all wore some drawers. Y'all switched to Hanes. You too young for this?
Oh, I didn't wear Hanes.
I didn't wear Hanes.
And you motherfuckers still wear Hanes to this day.
I do
not. You know what the fuck I'm talking to.
I'm Polo.
Are you a Jordanian?
Calvin Klein.
Are you a Jordanian? Yes or no?
Nautica.
Okay. Are you a
maybe
Jordanian? You a regular fan?
Given day. But
I'm regular.
I'm primarily
There you go.
Polo. I like comfort.
Anyway,
Polo.
probably at that time, during the Hanes days, it was probably like Fruit of the Loom for me. I was like, your parents were buying you.
Yeah, Fruit of the Loom was
exactly.
definitely the go-to kids underwear.
Definitely wore tighty whities.
So again, man, in Chicago, we have to start in Chicago
2000.
before we branch out, because this podcast is for Chicagoans who love Chicago, and Chicago over everything. Let's be clear. But Abasi, this what I'm about to talk about, it just blew my mind. Can you explain to me how a dead man was found in the precinct? How does that happen?
Yeah.
That is,
How does that? I mean, how do we've had?
How do you die? Just over with for you.
You stop breathing.
I mean, we've
Your
had
heart goes.
we've had our brothers and sisters die in police arms and being transported. But how do you find a dead man in a precinct? How does that happen?
Found. That's the part that I'm a little confused about.
All right, it happens. You know what?
It happens.
It happens.
Well, how do y'all cover that up? Shit.
Hold on. It happens more than y'all think. I bullshit you not. Because a police station is what? It's a safe haven. You can drop a baby off there. If you're homeless, you can come chill in there.
Okay.
You can come there. So
not like found in a closet though.
Probably found in the washroom.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it was a restroom. It was found in the restroom, man. So when I'm at work sometimes and do the desk because I'm old and don't give a fuck anymore, you people come in and use the washroom, man. Like after 5 minutes, you got to go check on them to make sure they ain't in there shooting their shit up.
Okay.
Because that's still under investigation because he might be in there getting high. I guarantee that's what it was. I bet my year's salary on that shit, bro.
Sense, yeah.
You come in there, you pay your last leg. But the benefit of that is there's no benefit to death unless you just lived a full life already. But the benefit of that is your family will always know you're dead. You'll be identified. You won't be in a back alley in a garbage can somewhere in somebody's trunk in the bottom of a fucking river. But it happens more than you fucking know, bro. You find dead bodies. Hell, we had a whole lockup situation. That happens commonly too. You'll find somebody will get arrested and they'll get locked up and you go back and check them half an hour later, they fucking dead.
Wow.
They fucking dead,
like
but
generally overdoses is what you're saying though.
In the washroom and shit like that, yes.
Yeah.
When they found him at NY, you'd be dead and that's it, dog.
Yeah, when I said I was like found, like what do you mean? Like he was under a bench or something? Like
So wait, you think the city should
3 weeks?
City should be liable for that?
I don't know.
I
I just found it very confusing to me. Like in my mind, you go to the police station because you want to feel safe. You go there. There's a problem. You want them to help you.
You can go to get out the code. It's also a water shelter too.
That too. All that, right?
It's the taxpayers pay for it.
See, and you know what's funny is to your point, I would assume that with that same logic, because I mean, yeah, we talked about this on the show before. Like the CTA train system is kind of a haven for people who are homeless. I would assume you would find more, and maybe they do, and they just don't report
It's
it.
not
right?
on the news, bro.
Because like you can't
How
report
many
that.
DOAs I do a year?
Yeah, if you report how many people are found dead on CTA, people are not going to take that train, right?
Okay.
Think about the platform, bro. We get so many calls from CTA, hey man, such and such person's on the platform,
and dove off the thing,
or they just go hide way at the back where the closet is, you know. And we go down there. First of all, these trains whizzing past, and I'm not going to get too physical with these people at all. But I'm looking like out of 18 years now, I know these bums. Yeah. I'm like, John Jackson, please come here.
Right,
fam, let's go upstairs. I got $5 for you. I give you a sandwich and something to drink. But you got to leave, okay?
No, man,
I definitely try to take care when I see him, though, because I know the situation is fucked up.
For sure, man. No, I mean, I'm saying I'm in the morning. This morning, I'm on there, and you always know when something happens.
You was on a train?
Because, I'm on.
You
I
had your bike with you?
No.
You wasn't on that day,
I'm
was you?
getting them scooters, though. Watch this. But
he was talking Big Willie talk earlier, too.
But,
he was zipping past people. Zipping his big money talk.
But
he's going to zip past the students.
But,
he's
for sure,
float
like
float
this
past
here,
his students.
foot prop.
He has money.
Wait till he get warming up.
That motherfucker James LLC's doing well.
But
get you a car note, man. Get out of here.
Why? That's $800 a month for nothing.
My car note just ended 2 months ago.
Right, exactly.
God damn it.
But no, the point being,
trick that money.
No, the point being,
my fault, I'm back.
The point being that that hurt. The point being that
No one podcast, man. Y'all clean it up out there.
You can tell because in the morning, what happens is the announcer will go, the trains are no longer going to be going through Grand to blah, 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 right?
Express,
like
right?
They specifically will tell you, no, there's going to be a shuttle. And that's how you know, that's code for something didn't happen on these tracks that we can't move trains. It happens way more often than it used to, man.
All right, next up, man.
Is that your car alarm?
I know
going
you're an
off?
ugly ass cop, boy.
Somebody trying to steal your Mexican
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's racist. I shouldn't call your car Mexican.
It is, though.
It's just a not
It
sexy
is a
car,
Honda with
basically.
tint. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's racist to call that Mexican. That's to associate like they're the only ones with Hondas.
I think it's stereotyping, but yeah.
Are y'all done?
Stereotyping and racism are closely linked.
That boy
Either way, it's probably his trash ass alarm.
That boy got an old Dodge Neon.
Now that
with 15s in the trunk.
I remember when them cars came out, and I remember the first dude who bought one. It was like, fam, you need to go take that back right now.
And it had to be green. That was the most popular
It was
color.
definitely yellow.
Whoa, that's disgusting.
Well, we're in a Hyde Park area. I'm done listening to you guys. Just saw an article, and this is awesome. They ranked the top 5 restaurants that opened up in April. And who was on there? Eric Williams, his new spot. So again,
Bronzeville Winery.
Yes,
Shout out E-Dub. No doubt.
Just want to get some love and support.
Judging this off of?
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. You know, maybe,
I haven't been yet, actually.
Maybe
This is
ambiance, food. I'm sure.
In fact, maybe we should pull up after this.
Yeah, we can. But yeah, when I see that, I always want to give shout out to friends of the show.
Shout out, brother. We're still waiting on you.
Shout out. He opened up. No, he's ready. He's like, they open now. That was the biggest thing. So that'll be after we finish the series with the congressional candidates. That'll be one of our next stops before Civil Room Block Party.
Let's go.
Now, so you're doing all this work, Kende, and I wanted to kind of actually jump in when you were talking about that. But do y'all even care about Lollapalooza? And because they just released the dates and everybody that's going to be on the show.
And everything.
For me, yeah, actually, I won't be there, and they're charging. They're charging
like he was there before.
Yeah, definitely.
No,
was.
I'm not going this year.
I better spell his motherfucking name right.
Definitely was. Do that.
Spell it as never been in Lollapalooza.
But I don't know why they even charging for this joint, because if y'all remember, there was a video where everybody just jumped the fences and rushed the shit.
Yeah, they'll do it again. They'll do it yearly.
Yeah. I mean, here's the bottom line. One, Lollapalooza makes a crazy amount of money.
Cash.
So even the people that jump the fence, it doesn't have any effect in real
people
time.
Getting paid.
And quite honestly, I've gone the last couple of years. Lollapalooza, quite honestly, is skewed for younger audiences. It's not for us. It's not for 40-year-olds, right? All of the artists that they bring are younger. It's a lot of kids, man.
Nah, bro, the tickets are starting at $125.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
okay with that because I'm not going.
The cost is one thing. What I'm saying,
super okay with
what
that.
I'm saying is the acts that you book. So I have a friend, Josh Adams. Shout out Josh. He runs Mind Pool Live, which is the video. So all the video screens that you see at that festival, that's him. So oftentimes when Lollapalooza comes, I go visit him. He's in a truck trailer.
And you sneak in.
I'm in the truck trailer. He's in a truck trailer, and he's just managing all the cameras, right?
Right.
And I got another friend, Dominique, my other homeboy, Nick Barbie, and they all work in different elements of Lollapalooza. What I'm saying is, it's not for us, man. When you walk around that festival, it's a bunch of kids, dude, and they're running around and ripping around. So it's like, it's not something that's skewing for our market.
I agree with you that it's not geared toward people our age. But this goes back to the argument we had or discussion we had at Promontory with Dot. Okay, about if you're old but you like this young shit, don't be ashamed to go there and hang the fuck out. Don't do that shit.
It be some people down
because
there.
more and more now, you see all these old motherfuckers out here doing this young shit.
They got Metallica, don't care. Green Day,
Metallica's amazing.
Green Day's legendary.
Doja Cat, Machine Gun Kelly, Lil Baby.
She's trash. Bro.
Who else we got? Now Jasmine Sullivan for sure.
J. Cole, SZA. It's a nice long list of people. Each day has two stars on there, and the rest are like.
Yeah, we got Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We got J. Cole.
Science is gonna be there. I definitely fuck with her music.
It's one of the most popular festivals.
And Sunday, excuse me.
Well, let's tell you this though. It's gonna be crazy, and as long as they don't tear the city up afterwards, give my colleagues I fuck with too much work, I'm cool with that.
They tear the city up because it was just hot last weekend, and the kids
those kids don't go to Lollapalooza. Let's be clear.
Why not?
I think that's racist.
One, because the tickets are $155, as you said.
$125.
Yeah,
starting at $125.
We still got stimulus money out here. We going.
I'm just
driving
saying.
the bus.
I've been there a number of times. I think Lollapalooza generally skews towards your upper middle class teenager who can afford to pay exorbitant.
Are we saying it's all white people at Lollapalooza?
It's not all, but it's predominantly.
It's everybody, bro.
But it's predominant. It's very mixed. I mean, the first time I saw Chance the Rapper perform, I saw him at Lolla. This was about 8 years ago.
He's definitely black.
Yeah, but you know who was in the audience? Mainly white teenagers
and Hispanics.
Also, man, Bridgerton. Right? I don't watch it, but clearly, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
So Lisa and her whole team. They are
shout out Josh, shout out LB.
Also,
Juan Teague. She's the one who's Juan Teague is one of the main people that because
she gets busy.
It's at XS Tennis where we did the thing. That's where it stays at inside.
So it's called the Bridgerton Experience. It transforms the Southside Tennis Center into a whole experience. There's the performances. There's a party after.
From what era in time?
From the 1800s.
It's like
right? So people come and dress up and get in costume and really get into the whole vibe.
Yeah.
Now I thought this was a one-off. They're doing this
for 10 weeks, bro.
Here's the
first week.
Here's the crazy part. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
And they're doing like 2-3 shows a day.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the next 9 weeks. Like they just finished week 1 last week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is the start of week.
And it's Chicago isn't the only city doing this. I believe New York, and I can't think of the other two.
Who ordered the slap in the face for black people? Who ordered this slap in the face for black people? Who did this?
I don't know, man. I don't know the story.
Have you seen the TV show? Have you seen it on Netflix?
Fuck that TV show.
No. Here's why you need to know.
It's located on 53rd and State. Okay. That's where it's located at, and that's what kind of area? Historical it's been. It has a lot of, Joe, why talk about the 1800s?
It's all black people at the event. Here's why
Even worse, then, bro.
Here's why I'm asking if you've seen the show. This show on Netflix is based on an actual show that was on Netflix.
I don't care.
Right? But here's why it's important.
I don't care again.
Because this is one of the first shows that actually showed black people in that era in time as a part of the upper echelon. That's why it's on 53rd. That's why it got its notoriety because it showed black people.
Yeah, all that shit you're kicking is nice, but fuck all that shit, bro. Fuck all that shit, bro. Because it don't matter. In the 1800s, what was going on in Chicago in the 1800s?
Chicago wasn't even a thing in the 1800s. Native Americans lived here.
Maybe it's
Chicago was founded in like 1868.
Get here?
In the 1860s or something like that, 1850 or something like that.
In 1780,
it was
1790.
Not 1700.
No, he got his homework. See
what I do? That's why
he got his homework.
I fucking talk to y'all about some shit. You don't have the kind of power.
Show me those.
You and your granddad's wife stay over there. Stay over there, bro.
Show me those, bro. Show them the.
But I couldn't remember it all. But you know,
random squiggly lines and circles.
When I initially read this, I was like, yeah, I'm not sure about the 1800 lick, because it's different. Because in that time in Chicago, I wasn't here. Obviously, my parents weren't here, but there are history books for a reason. I don't think they would lie about what was going on because it's telling you about the torture that black folks went through.
Did you just say you don't think history books would lie?
Have you ever opened your mouth and my thoughts and words came out? No, right? How about you, Mom?
But did you say it just don't happen? Did you just say you don't think history books?
Let me hear this.
In the 1800s in Chicago, the very city that we love, grew up and that raised us. There was still segregation where? Transportation, schooling, restaurants, the very lucrative hotel industry, bro. Yes. In the 1800s, they do that. You should.
Are you telling me transportation? There was a transportation system in the 1800s?
I named 5 different things. Right,
but then you started with the 1700s. I'm confused, man. Where are we?
and this is after what Swain was talking about, the Reconstruction of Chicago, when the migration from South happened as well. It continued to happen in the 1800s, when the population swelled.
That was the
triple times.
1800s,
bro. Okay.
Are we talking about the migration from Mississippi?
I'm not going to talk with Kende because my
the person who teaches history.
Yeah, you're wrong. The person has been wrong on the show before.
I've been wrong before.
You couldn't even testify against white people in 1800s, right?
I am certain.
So we want to transport us back to a time and relive that era.
There was no
I'm
great
cool on that, bro.
migration in the 1800s.
Now, whatever you want to
from
think
the
is whatever you want to think.
Chicago.
Okay.
You know what? That's a very interesting
Tonika
take, though. Let me be clear.
Cool.
Let me be clear.
Phone a friend. Somebody called Tonika Johnson.
What we call her?
She did a whole research we had on the show. It's not the
Him being
1800s.
animated does not make him right.
What I
Just
think
so y'all
Bossy
know.
is saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, are you saying that the 1800s and Bridgerton is not a representation of what the 1800s really was for black
Here,
people?
for us.
Here, right?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the fuck you talking
Bridgerton
about.
is in Europe. It's not staged in Chicago.
Cool, but
Why
where
would
they
it be a
have this event at, though?
representation of this?
They're having it out south at a big black-owned
Had that
space.
shit wherever they had it at, bro. Go do that. Have it there.
I think you went a little too deep on that one.
No, I'm
Pause.
cool on that. Pause, boy.
Yeah, I think you went a little too
It's
deep.
got a lot of red ink on there,
That's
man.
not. It's really not.
But I mean,
It's really
again,
not.
you
Boy,
know,
rubbing his temples.
that's
Woosah.
that's home team though. So shout out to them. I think it's a dope ass idea, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely shout out.
It's clearly
I love it, Wanzi.
it's clearly selling the fuck out. And if you're able to do,
Yeah.
you know,
Y'all going?
2-3 shows a
Okay.
day. Actually, now we're gonna go there and pull up and get some footage, and you're gonna go.
I'm gonna hit you, motherfucker. I'm gonna hit
You're
you
gonna go.
with some shit. Keep
I'm
on.
gonna hit you with the
I'm gonna show you Chicago like in 2022.
shoulder
Y'all
joints.
show me on 1800 bullshit and y'all are Boussiers and
No, you
Corsets. Y'all show up like that. I'm gonna show you what it's really about.
Well, since you geeked up,
What you go, Nat Turner the situation?
Right.
You gonna come in and just shoot up all the people? You terrible, man.
Look, I want you to keep that same energy, man, because you've been down to talk about this, and I didn't want to get into it when it first happened. I want to kind of let things develop a little bit. But if we're talking about the Grand Rapids situation out there, can you just give a little backstory on that? Because I know this is your area of expertise.
We saw the video.
We saw the video.
And everything about the video was wrong, from the policing tactics to the way it ended. What these young cats got to understand is, even these old dogs on the force, if somebody runs, you don't have to chase them. You don't have to chase them, because a lot of times when you chase them and find them, you find nothing on them.
Didn't they drop the new policy that y'all not even supposed to give chase?
They
That's in
tried.
Chicago.
They tried
That's not
that
in
about.
Grand Rapids.
Yeah, some people. Go ahead, quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, he the police. He the police.
I read the goddamn newspaper.
Oh, now the paper's good now, huh? Now research is good now, huh? They don't lie.
You
don't lie
said
now?
textbooks.
Shut up, man. Yeah.
You said history books.
Yeah, I didn't say history books or textbooks, did I?
He actually didn't though. Rewind the tape.
I didn't, bro.
He actually didn't.
Come on now. Come on now. Please. You go. All right. Yeah.
So McKinney out of Dabo.
His volume ain't loud enough, though.
Let me turn you up.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's much better right there, though.
All right.
But
So, yeah, let's talk about
bro,
that.
it was really excessive, bro, because even after George Floyd, this lets us know that some people just don't get it. They don't get it. Now, I'm not saying Buddy was all right fighting or trying to run when it came to interacting with the officer, but Officer so-and-so was definitely, I don't even know his fucking name, was definitely wrong,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, for doing what he did. And to end up people saying, well, you know, he had his taser. No, if you look at it, bro, the taser was on the ground when they actually got shot initially. So this comes down to, that's why all the training I be doing, this mic is garbage, but hold on. This mic is garbage as fuck. Go back over here. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
Yeah, it's all good. But this is why they have police in training yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily, bro. You gotta readjust your seating shit, bro. All that goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because things like this will continue to happen until there are stiffer penalties given out to those who partake in this misconduct and don't have people skills. It's as basic as people skills, dog. People skills. Now, and people always want a Monday morning quarterback about how they would have did this, they would have did that. What if that was your brother, your child, your friend, the love of your life, bro? Would you be saying the same thing? And when that father said execution, I was skeptical at first, and I saw the video. Matter of fact, I was in training to be a dare officer when that shit came out. The message went across the city. It said, hey, we might pull you out this training because there's a video coming out tomorrow that may send this motherfucker clean up. And I was like, you won't get me. I'm going to fall and bump my head when I leave here. All right? I'm done with this for the rest of my career, man. I'm done. You ain't finna treat me like the 1800s. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you did there.
Great migration.
Police me. I bet police was beating their ass back then. Absolutely, you know what I'm saying? But it was tragic. What do y'all think, bro? It was tragic as fuck, man. And until the penalties change, regarding that, bro, the same behavior will continue.
You know what's interesting is we were joking in the car. Bro. We were joking in the car on the way over here, right? We were saying like, Abasi's been doing a lot of training. You've noticed, right? Every week he's talking about being in training, and so we were kind of joking that like, you know, that's what everybody's been calling for: more training, more training, more training, more training. And so clearly they're doing more training, right? So it's this idea that like, in one way, we are hoping that these trainings are helping educate officers on the job of how to avoid these situations, right? But I also feel like, you know, we know, like you just said, like people are making decisions. Some people, you know, have healthy mindsets around these things. Some people have been conditioned to believe what a criminal is. They've been conditioned to believe what a criminal looks like. So they have kind of preconceived notions of how to respond when they think they see a criminal. So yeah, man, I think unfortunately it's not the type of thing we expect to actually go away forever. What we hope is that we will see better versions of de-escalation. We will see better versions through these trainings tomorrow. Right? Yeah, right. Not exactly in 24 hours. Yeah, right. But no, of course it's super unfortunate.
No way should they fake license plates, you know,
lead to somebody getting killed,
man. That's not all the actions out of my voice, bro. You know, no way should a simple traffic stop, and it wasn't a traffic stop, the car was stalled, according to many people, end up in somebody losing their life, man. It comes down to, I say this time and time again about people, no matter what your profession is, being humane, bro. Because we talked about the guns earlier. You hold that gun, you feel power. Think about somebody that never had power, never had anything, I hate using this old stereotypical, you know, cliche saying, was picked on in school. Give them a uniform. Give them the right to take away your liberties and your freedom. Give them a gun on top of that. Yeah. Imagine how they going to make this man feel. When I say stop, you better stop. When I say jump, you better... No, fam. You got to deal with people. That's why I've been great on my job for 18 years. I've had 4 complaints. They were all lies. All lies. Because I give... When I'm in the community, no matter if I was working out south or Humboldt Park, you were black, white, red, yellow, brown. It didn't matter. If I could come out of my pocket and help you, I would. Even on a probationary salary. If you were in need and struggling, I would take $5-10, give you a sandwich, give you a hot drink, see if I could drop you off somewhere, get you to a family member, bro. When we bring that mentality back to people, to society, bro, it'll be in a better place. But these old generations, even some of us, you know, we keep certain shit sexy. Some is necessary, some is not. But the negative parts of society, bro, that these morons teach their kids growing up, like racism, like discrimination, like sexism, that got to die, man. But as long as you got adults feeding the next generation, it's gonna be a hard place to get away from. Absolutely.
Yeah, man, you kill that.
I kill a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
you feel me?
No.
Killed the history books.
Man, y'all play too much.
I was happy to see that Evanston finally kept their word, man. They gave these not even young ladies, but these women their reparations, man.
I want to clap, but they long overdue too, though. I'm a hater, bro.
Yeah. You a hater? It's fine. That's a good thing to hate on.
Well, because
we talked about that. We talked about that earlier when it came out.
We'll talk about it a little bit, right? Yeah. Like we're talking about policy. We're talking about policy, right? There is no way to go back and correct slavery. There is no way to go back and correct Jim Crow. There is no way. But the one thing that we do have an avenue as we travel forward is policy, right? And this is a policy. They went out, they said, we're going to establish some, and this is going on in California too. California passed something recently because my dad lives out there now. He got all excited.
The Dappos are everywhere, man. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, they were the first ones to say, this is how we are going to approach this process. And it's this idea that, you know, if you had relatives that lived in this area during this time frame, we're going to give you something towards land, something towards being able to buy property, something that will help prop you up, just like the people who were propped up because of the slaves.
People need it, bro. Yeah.
So I think it's an amazing, amazing story that we're seeing it. People, you know, when that story first broke last year, people were kind of like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, here we go again, right? So basically the stipulation was like, you had to be a resident of Evanston and you had to be at least 18 years of age between 1919 and 1969. And
it wasn't a lot of people that qualified.
Right, man.
Yeah, I mean, in Evanston, like, nah.
And it was only $400,000 total, which, again, drop in the bucket. We get it, but it's something. And now it's picking up. Other places are picking this up because it is something.
I doubt Chicago picks it up.
Everybody wants to look like they're on the right side of doing things. We say this all the time.
I don't know if it's just about looks, but I hear you.
You want to argue today, huh?
No, I just don't agree that it's always about
I
looks.
argue. It's cool.
So, how do you feel about your boy Elon Musk buying Twitter? Do we even care? I mean, I don't use Twitter, so it's like...
You know what? I would think you would be more interested because, because of your business mind, bro. To see how he approaches this and what his angle is. I know you guys don't have the same bank account, but you know your business mind. I'm not trying to insult you either, though.
He think he got the same bank account.
If I had 44 M's, man, B, excuse me,
Billion.
Yeah,
it's different. You know, I'm retiring everybody.
Facts.
You know.
Yeah.
How many can I get in singles though?
I'm
going
conflicted,
dead to KOD.
man. I'm conflicted because a lot of the narrative in the news is that he's doing this so that he can free up the space so that people can say whatever they want.
Free speech. Fuck out of here.
Right.
So? That's what it is.
That's what the narrative is in the news.
It's a bigger play behind it.
It's definitely a bigger play.
I haven't talked to Elon. You haven't talked to Elon. Right?
I know Elon.
I know.
It's not Elon.
I know there's some commentary based on comments he said before. All I can say is this. There is something to be concerned about if it does turn into a free-for-all. We're talking about one of the largest spaces where people share their ideas and opinions on the planet. And if anybody can say anything, you worried about what kids is doing downtown when it gets hot. We had an entire insurrection at Congress based on what people were tweeting. So if you got stuff going on in Russia, Ukraine, you got stuff going on in Mexico, you got stuff going on in places that if Twitter turns into an open forum for say whatever you want,
I'm there.
We're talking potential apocalypse types of vibes in certain places, right?
I can see that. That's why I feel like it's a bigger play. Like, what if he's on some I'm about to take over the world shit?
I mean, he's been on that.
You know what I'm saying?
Traveling to Mars on the weekend because it's fun and shit.
My initial thought was, he did do that though. My initial thought was he wants to take another giant step in controlling the algorithms of having people's information and shit like that.
And
that's where my mind went.
This is a genre that those algorithms have already tracked you. They know who you are.
I'm like, damn, he's smart for that. That's why I thought you would go, bro. That's what I thought mine would go.
He's not stupid. Let's be clear.
No, I'm not.
No, I wasn't talking about I won't say you're stupid.
No, you're damn right.
You might be a little dim on the bright side.
Dim on the bright side. Bars. Dim on the bright side.
All right, what's your favorite sophomore album? I know we're getting close.
Oh, man. For
sophomore
me,
albums.
My favorite sophomore album would be Mobb Deep, The Infamous.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Do you have one?
Me? No, I don't have a favorite sophomore.
I had a few, bro. I only listened to a few. I think my favorite might be Jodeci's sophomore album, Diary of a Madman.
That's a good one.
That shit was cold, but I also
that was the first CD I ever bought.
Man, that shit was cold, though. Everybody saying Cry For You. I had J. Cole, Forest Hills Drive. That was cold.
I like that.
Of course I got to go to Pac. I had Pac's sophomore album on Death Row, All Eyes on Me. I had grown Michael Jackson. Kid Michael Jackson and grown Michael Jackson are different people to me. I had Thriller, which was his second album.
Michael Jackson.
I like Off the Wall better than Thriller, though.
That's not his second one, though.
Yeah, I'm just
That's cool, though. Outkast, Aquemini.
That one I rocked with.
Kendrick, To Pimp a Butterfly.
Definitely rocked with that.
Outkast, Aquemini.
You just said
that.
I had To Pimp a Butterfly.
No, you definitely said Outkast.
Yeah. Wow.
You definitely did. Rewind the tape.
All right. Twisted Comic. What y'all want to bet?
Bet it. Bet it.
We're making so much money.
Yes.
I'm not in my own.
And I had Biggie, Life After Death was a good sophomore album to me.
That was
there you
go.
go.
I mean, he only had two, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Damn.
His last. Sophomore was his last. They said, damn. All right.
It's all good, man. What else we got?
We got to do Black Excellence, bro, and we good.
Okay. So we have...
we got more Black Excellence coming on the show.
Let's see.
You got to kick it off.
Damola, he's part of your family. Look, it's ADAMOLEKUN. Can you sound it out for me?
I mean, it looks like...
I don't have anything. I just have to laugh off.
Let me blow that up for you, man.
What?
Whoa.
Adamolekun. Damola Adamolekun.
One more time.
Damola Adamolekun.
Wait,
no, I can't.
He's the first black CEO of PF CHANG.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Like,
Right.
That's interesting.
That's hilarious. But shout out to that brother, man. You know whatever he did to get in charge of PF Chang.
Oh my gosh.
Black people eat Chinese food all the time.
Oh my gosh.
But it was just weird to me. But shout out to him. He's the first black CEO of PF Chang, man. You know,
That's
black
all the
excellence.
black excellence.
I thought that shit was hilarious. I thought that shit was
What
hilarious.
y'all doing, man?
Hey,
You know.
diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Thank you. That's all it is.
Let me throw him a lob, though. We want to start with the minor black excellence because we have supreme black excellence coming on.
For sure.
All right. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
So let's do that, man.
All right, I got it. All right, man. After these messages,
We'll be right back.
In the 1800s.
Yeah. 1800. Y'all.
All right, so we are back, and as you know, we are in the middle of our series of interviewing congressional candidates. Particularly in this next couple of weeks, we're focused on the 1st District here in Chicago, but it is for the United States House of Representatives. And to that end, we would like to welcome our guest, Ms. Charise Williams. Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. And just so I'm clear, and so the people are clear, you are a native Chicagoan. You are born and raised here in Chicago.
I am not a native Chicagoan.
Okay.
I was. So my father is a Marine.
Okay.
So I was
Thank you for
born
your
here.
services.
Yes, I was born here. 3 months after I was born, we traveled the world, and I did not move back here until 7th grade, 89, 87. Okay. But I lived in Japan, Virginia, and spent most of my childhood in Southern California.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you speak any different languages?
I do not speak. I speak Blanglish.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Black Spanish.
Yep.
I do that. I do.
I've never
I
heard
do
that.
speak that. No.
Me llamo Amon.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
actually Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me encanta bailar.
But my son speaks Chinese.
Really?
Yes,
great,
he's
yeah.
he reads, writes, and speaks it. He's fluent in Chinese.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does he know any other languages?
Blanglish.
Nice. Well, obviously, you know, part of our initiative here is we really do. We believe very, very much so in, first of all, the political process for our people, making sure that our people are the people that are representing us in our constituencies. We know for a long time, apparently since the 1800s, that wasn't the case. So now that we have this opportunity, we really are very, encouraged to make sure that we are supporting the opportunity to promote not just the candidates, but also this concept, right? So please, if you could just give us a little bit of like why you're in the race, because this is not the first time you've run for office.
It's not.
Like what really drew you to politics and why are you so passionate about this space?
Well, to your point, this is actually a really historic race. This is in the 1st District. There has not been new representation for 30 years.
Bobby Rush, right? He's been there for 30 years.
He's been there for 30 years, yeah. So he's actually older than a lot of people who will be voting in that space, in that conversation. So
Jesus.
and prior to that, there's never been a woman. So when a woman, myself, I win this seat, I'll be the first woman, and I'll be the first new representative in 3 decades. Just from a history standpoint. And I'm here, honestly, because I am unapologetically for my community. I know that when I look at Congress and I just look across the state, I don't see people who speak like me and who represent the same values that I have, who don't have the same baggage necessarily that I have, that other people have. There's 18 people in the race. So due to the fact that, again, this is the first time. And, that being said, most of the candidates have either have political experience or either are politicians and have kind of whatever baggage that comes with that, have ownership to other people, may or may not have necessarily the experience to be a federal representative. And this is an opportunity to really make history. I did run before. I ran prior because my godson was a victim of gun violence.
Sorry to hear that.
Yes, thank
Condolences.
you. It's still an unsolved case. He was in Country Club Hills, so we're going to activate to get that case to bring more attention to that. But I ran. It was an emotional run. It was 7 people. I had no idea how to get into politics. I just wanted to make sure no one felt that pain again. I came in 3rd out of 7 with no money.
Only way is up now.
Yes. And what I learned, though, is, you have to have a base. You have to have a message. I need to be a little more prepared to run. So when this opportunity came up, I partnered and worked with a guy named John Rogers, who is Obama's former
campaign manager, or campaign staff.
Campaign staff on his committeeman, yes. And he also owns a company called Ariel Investments.
Okay.
So he is an active political influencer just throughout the country, and we built a really good team together to make this run for Congress. So is that a question?
You're there.
So, when I'm doing this run and when I make this run and when I win this run, I'll have an opportunity to invest $17 billion into the state.
There you go.
And that's the largest infrastructure bill in actually our history. It's $1.2 trillion. Illinois is going to get $17 billion.
This is recently passed.
It just passed, yes. Biden just passed the infrastructure bill a few months ago. And every single time we get federal money, the 1st District always gets ignored. And I'm just tired of us being ignored.
Well, we need some of that, too. So,
Quick question.
Yes.
Get up in there.
Quick question, like to kind of piggyback back off what McKinley was saying, right? You mentioned that this would be the first time that a woman held that seat.
Yes.
Why do you think that's important to see a woman? What do you think it would mean to see a woman in that seat? How would that impact the communities, the areas that you govern,
yes,
so to speak, for lack of a better term?
So just from a leadership perspective, women are better collaborators when it comes to working.
Me and hard headed, huh? We absolutely are, though. We are.
Well, women are better collaborators.
Thanks.
And in this next Congress, Democrats are going to be the minority, so it's going to be important to work across both aisles. And you're going to have to learn to work together without being stuck in your ways. And women are better listeners. Women just as a whole are able to be better advocates, regardless of where you come from, who you look like, or what gender you are. And the importance, I think, for having a woman in this particular time as this voice is that you need someone who can be a representative for everybody. Not saying nothing against men. I'm not taking that away, but it's just really data. Data shows women are just better leaders.
I need to meet these women.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
The ones that are better listeners, because maybe I'm not saying the right things. You know what I'm saying? No. That was great. I 100% agree, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, that being said, when I do this run, what people don't know is that the election is June 28th.
Right, and talk about that a little bit, right? Because normally it's when?
It's normally March.
Right.
It's actually normally Super Tuesday. Due to the census, the pandemic, just numerous amount of reasons, the main reason is that we couldn't get the census together in time enough because of the pandemic. We had to push everything back. So the election is June 28th. Early voting is June 14th. And for the timing, people are just nervous that people aren't going to come out to vote. One, it's a primary election. People normally come out for a general. And it's a time where no one knows. And school is out the second week of June, and people are on vacation during the last 2 weeks of June, right? Because the summer programs start in July, right? So just from a timing standpoint, it's going to be really important to get people's name out. And on this election, no one knows people's name. Like, there's not a front runner. I'm not going to say anyone's name because why would I ever do that? But there's not really like a real front runner. So as far as the attention,
it's kind of a wide open.
It's really wide open.
Let's connect two dots really quickly.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the census. How is the census connected? Why was it? How is the census connected to voting? Let's just get that.
Sure.
Throwing that out there.
Yep. Well, the census counts people. And the number of people that aren't counted are going to depend on the number of people who can vote. What's unfortunate and what we've seen is that black people are leaving the state and the city in droves, right? Hundreds of thousands. This district is also new. It got remapped. So on top of the first district always being majority black, that changed, one, because people left, and two, because they redid the maps due to the fact that people left. So now it's 38% more suburban, white, rural Republican than it was before. So it's actually, this district has changed, when historically from Jean Baptiste to Priest, it's been a black district.
So the census is important.
1800s.
Because a lot of us get that census paper,
Yes.
let's be 100, and don't fill it out.
Right.
We toss it, we go back
Right.
about our lives. So I wanted to make that connection, that the
Yes.
census does have a direct effect on who can even represent us.
Who can represent us and how much money that we get.
Right.
So if, again, I said it was $17 billion, right? From a population standpoint, what normally happens is they look at the district who has the most population, who would need the money the most. So if they're looking at my district, the first district, and say they're looking at another district up north, they have a greater number of people, right? So from a population standpoint, logically, they would get more money because it's more people to serve.
And that could just be based on more people completed the census,
people
not
completed the
actually
census.
physically more people living
Living
there.
in the district.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make that direct connection.
Now, can all these things be done online at this point? Like, I don't have to.
I know. We're not there yet.
Really?
I know. That
Wow.
wouldn't it be great?
Yeah.
It would.
Is there like a concern about fraud or something?
It's just until the pandemic, there was not a move to want to even do everything online. Just think about that. Just think about how we naturally engage with each other,
Yeah.
right? School, technology, communications, everything wants to be in person. Our economy was built on buying space so that people can go to offices, so that, and in Chicago, the largest economic factor is businesses.
Right.
Right? So it was built on buying office space in Chicago, so Chicago would be the main tax factor for everyone else in the state, right? That's what our economy was based on. Now everything is virtual. So people aren't buying space, they're not renting space, right? So you're now the conversation of even just doing voting on virtual, right? So then people aren't going to come outside to vote anymore. Like, yes, it would be extremely convenient to actually stop a lot of these fraud laws that are happening across the state. Across the country.
Frog laws?
Fraud
okay.
laws, yeah. Right now, Voter Rights Act are being, challenged.
yeah,
across
Certain
everywhere.
states are like trying to come up with different ways to keep
Georgia.
certain people from voting.
Exactly.
Texas.
Yeah. So if you took away the ability to count votes, right? If you did everything online, things might actually be done right.
Right.
Right?
Right.
To your point. So could it be online? Yeah, it should be. Hopefully we get to that point one day.
And what does the actual first district cover? Because when you say they remap
Yeah.
it, what does that look like?
So we start north as far as 18th Street and go all the way south to Bourbonnais.
Okay.
We go as far east as far as like Jeffrey, South Shore area. And as far as west is Joliet, New Lenox. We have
Got it.
Orland Hills. In between that, there's Markham, Robbins, Hazelcrest, East Hazelcrest, a little bit of Country Club Hills, Phoenix. There's Manhattan, Mokina, Homer Glen, Frankfurt, New Lenox. I mean, there's all.
Got it.
Yeah, it's a pretty wide district.
So I'll say, everybody on the show knows that I'm an educator, and obviously that's something I'm super passionate about. How does a House of Representatives candidate or a person, you're elected, you're in the House of Representatives now. How does that seat, how does that role, how does that influence, how does that, you talked about the infrastructure bill, that's more about businesses and building, but it could potentially involve education building, I'm assuming. But how does your role specifically impact the everyday teacher, the everyday parent, the everyday student here in the city of Chicago?
Yeah. So it's interesting. The job of a congressman is really there's no real job description. It is
Sounds like my kind of job.
right.
You have your actual job.
You have to be legally able to vote, and you have to live in the district that you're running for, as far as requirements. And your job is to serve the constituents based on whatever those are, and be able to draft and enact legislation and policy. Right? That's the job description. That being said, when people are like, well, what does a Congress really do? So every day, a congressman, I'll start simple, is that they can help with like passport issues. That's something that a lot of people will get called and say, I need help with my passport. Whatever it may be, you would call your congressman or your senator, and that's something that they can do like immediately. You go bigger, and a congressman, so I'll give an example. We got $20 million in CARES funding, federal funding. So prior to my job, I worked at this agency called ICJA, where my whole job was administering federal and state fundings. So my budget was $500 million. I did over $1 billion in funding in 2 years. My job has been giving money to people that look like us, right? Specifically giving federal and state money for the past 2 years. So that's what I've been doing. And that's important because, one, I'm the only one that's been doing that out of the 18 people who are running. And the job of a congresswoman, of a congressperson, is to take all these macro resources and bring them down to the community so that they're bite-sized, so they go to the average teacher or to the podcast host or to anyone, right?
Yes.
So that's
Just the host.
Yes. the creator,
tell that man
the
that.
curator,
Don't
the
tell
boss.
but and how you do that is, one, you craft the legislation so that it can get to those communities in those census tracts, right? One. Then you work with the agencies and you give them very specific direction on how the money should be spent. When I was at ICJA, I would get calls from every other congressman and senator except some of our black representatives and say, I know you just got $20 million in violence prevention funding or in VOCA funding. I want it to go to these agencies in these communities. And we say, okay.
Wow.
Right?
Interesting.
And that's how, and because how they wrote the legislation, it gave them the power to administer it. As an agency, it goes to us. And on behalf, because we work for them, we have to do as we're told. Right? But most people don't know that.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Yeah.
You just put us on.
Right.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
You know, relationships, and it may seem I'm coming from left field, but
Yes.
I'll bring it right back around to where we are. Relationships are important, you know. They always have been, you know, from our great-grandparents to our grandparents, you know, whether it's an intimate partner, whether it's a mentor, a teacher, therapist, even with your neighbor. Relationships are super important to help you grow, or sometimes they can break you. And the relationship that's strained in America right now, we're going to bring it back to Illinois, you know, specifically Chicago and the South Side, you know, really, because that's where most of our black population is. I'm a proud West Sider. I throw the W up every time I get a chance, you know, but I've got to be real. The South Side is where most of our blacks reside, and historically a lot of things happen historically for black people out South, you know, from Carter G. Woodson Library, the DuSable Museum, and any projects, Obama's project. And the relationship that's straining us the most in Chicago is the relationship between law enforcement and the black community. Now, I'm a person that needs to vote. Say you don't know me, we're out on the show, you in the street, or, you know, you maybe having a cup of coffee, but you're open to conversation. And I walk up and say, hey, you know, I know you are running for, you know, this seat in Congress, the 1st District. I live out there. I'm a lifelong lover of the land, you know, but I have a problem with what the police are doing and how they are treating us. What would you tell me to comfort me to get my vote, you know, and me to spread the word to people I know that want to vote for somebody that's going to precipitate change?
Or repair that relationship.
Precipitate change in that relationship. Hey, first of all, you heard what happened? My mouth and McKinney's voice came out again.
struggling to get the word, but I was trying to help,
I want to say
man.
precipitate. I'm gonna rub his, I'll put my fingers on his glasses in a minute.
make these
Put all my thumbs on his glasses in a minute.
I knew he was going there. That's a good question. That's a great question.
This guy,
That's a
man.
great question.
He's a smart guy for a reason, though. Absolutely.
And so that question happens
Right.
when I'm knocking doors or just when I'm out.
Oh, you boots to the ground with it too, huh?
Yes, I'm
Absolutely.
definitely
Love
boots
it.
to the
Love
ground.
it.
Yes, I mean that happens. That happens in my neighborhood, and the best way that I can respond and how I respond to that question is just to be very honest. You know, as a congressperson, I cannot change the laws for the police, right? I can't enact policy on local municipalities. But in my role, I can do a couple things. I can be an advocate for those communities to help put pressure on changing the laws and the policy.
Okay.
I can also help with funding, so I'll go back to resources. I know before on the earlier shows you talked about like training, and I had to smile at that because that's also one of the things that I've been doing is funding law enforcement trainings to community groups.
Right.
To, you know, they have like the police training academy and the CLEP, like those are things that I have funded. And, you know, for that mother or that, you know, parent or that family, I would tell them that I would do that. I would serve as an advocate for them, to be their voice. And this is something that I've experienced. So understand this is very personal to me, too, because of the loss that I've had.
Absolutely.
And the police haven't done anything, right? So I have my own personal feelings about why that hasn't happened and there hasn't been movement of that. But I also know that, pressure builds. And if there's a voice from this family member and a voice from a congressional office, and then I have the power to make other people have a voice too, then our voices are loud enough to make people move, right? And, that's a bigger piece of it, but also to give that family resources. So if there's things that they need, like, and this is something that I've specialized in, and I know this, if they need money with, like, gang witness protection, right? So we just got $20 million for gang witness protection programs that hadn't historically been funded.
That's not in the news. Like, nobody knows there's a such thing as a fund for gang witness protection.
Really?
Like, why don't we hear about these?
I don't know. I mean, we have it. It now got funded out of the ICJ agency for those who, the whole, snitches get stitches piece of it, right?
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. It's so important.
And it was there before, but a lot of times the money took too long to get there. It wasn't really fully comprehensive. And it only covered, like, rent. It didn't cover food. So we expanded it so that it was a real program so that, they can still eat and travel and do whatever it is that they need to do and feel safely, right? Because you're asking someone to leave their home.
Yeah, and put their life on the line in a real way.
For that,
yeah.
Right. So I would provide resources and I would be an advocate, would be, I guess, the answer to that question. And what I have done.
That's the best answer you can probably give. Absolutely. I'm sold.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So what are no, you know what? Actually, let me ask you this. Because I want to have a conversation. We don't just interview.
Yeah.
It's not just
Okay.
let's just have a conversation.
I'm Southside too, by the way.
Oh Lord.
That's so unfortunate. Wow. I thought we had something. I thought we had
West
something.
Side for the
I was
first
gonna
20
be
years.
like
I've been South Side for the second 20 years. I can't really pick a side no more.
You had to vote
I'm
for
voting for Kanye right now. See,
I'm downtown. So pick a side, take a side.
Oh, you're
I got you.
downtown now.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm not even in your district no more.
wow, traitor.
What does it look like for you at this point, running this race, being the only black woman? And, how are you ducking, I guess, some of the pitfalls that may come with that?
She's not the only
I'm
black.
not the only black
Oh, you're not the only one. Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
so I'm the youngest black
Well,
woman.
because you didn't
That's what he meant to
name
say,
names.
the
I didn't name
youngest
names.
Right, okay,
I didn't name
okay.
names. So there's 18 individuals, black and all black, actually, men and women. I'm the youngest woman.
Okay, I like that.
running. And even just dealing with that kind of age is very interesting. That I have the most experience around federal, but it's still kind of like, come on, little girl. Right? They still give me the shoulder pat.
They're
right?
trying to sun you.
Right?
Right.
They try to sun me. Yes. Yes. So dealing kind of with those nuances, I think with just anyone, you have to be able to come in and be confident about what I talk about and be unapologetic about what I know, which I am. Most of the people that are now running, I've worked with, and so I know that they're good people, and I'm happy, I've supported them in their different endeavors, and, it's all love. It's not a hostile situation. But I stand on what I know and what I do, and being okay with doing that and not being intimidated by it, as, some of them may like to do. They try to intimidate me. It's Chicago politics is funny.
Southsiders don't get intimidated.
I'm sure.
Southsiders don't get intimidated. That's what I heard.
This is not to cut you off, but this is a very new
he
space
did
for
it
me
on purpose.
because I don't do politics, right? Because
Okay.
I always feel like it's funny business.
When
right?
people say don't do politics, everything's politics.
Everything.
Absolutely, right?
Everything's
Everything.
politics.
Absolutely,
Everything.
right?
Hey, woman is politics, bro. you have to nope, no, I ain't gonna go there.
So when I say that, like in the sense that like I don't really trust politicians, right?
Okay.
Because why? Just historically, a lot of things when they say, this is my policy, this is what I'm going to do. It's like, all right, you're gaming me to get my vote for that moment,
Right.
And then what happens when you're in there,
Right.
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 Big facts, bro.
Some of the things that I may have wanted to see happen maybe just didn't happen. It's like, okay, I don't trust anybody. So guess what? I'm going to stay below the radar, stay out the way, do what I do, right? And sometimes I feel like politics really only affect the upper echelon and at the bottom, right?
The middle class.
The middle class, it's just like we're good, right? We could be better, but do we really have anything to complain about?
I think we do.
Okay, I mean, talk to me. Talk to me.
Yeah. So, a couple things. People don't trust government. So
Facts.
you are the majority, right? And so when that is a conversation, I would encourage people to look at the history. So that's the thing that you can't change and you can't lie about, right? And to look if in any race, in any conversation with any woman, whoever, look at their history and see where they've come. Yes, people can change. I'm never saying that. People can change. But sometimes it's hard to change. And sometimes you need to change quick, right? So even just in this election, this money, all these resources that we're going to get, we don't have time for people to have a learning curve. Like we don't have that time for you to figure it out. Right now, we don't. We have had 30 years of wonderful representation, but we're in this time where we need new energy, and we need someone who can walk in there day one and be like, nah, I know this. This isn't how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you write it. This is how you say it. Not only have I done the work, I have a master's in public policy at University of Chicago, so I was trained well to do this.
And I think, not to cut you off, but I think that's important because no, because I had to say that. I think it's very important that we have someone in that space that's of our culture, right? Our age range, right? Because we are the new, whoever was up under Bobby Rush, right? My parents, his parents, right? That's what they were fighting. They were fighting for something different. Right. Times have changed, right? You have to evolve, right? So America, Chicago, it doesn't look the same, right? And there's a different population of people that are actually running the streets and working these jobs and what have you,
right?
And we need proper representation because what was happening with Bobby Rush in 60, 70, 80 is not happening now.
Like the 1800s.
Right? In the 1800s, right? It's different, right? Like I don't get my mail through a pigeon.
Right. And we're fighting for generational wealth.
Yes.
Right? Like those are the conversations we're having on how my kid is 20 years old in Morehouse, and he wants to start a business.
Shout out Morehouse.
Shout out Morehouse. And my conversations are how can I set up his kids now? Right? And our parents weren't having those conversations right now.
Sure.
So having, fighting for things of like taxing the billionaires. And I'm talking about the 10, 20, 50 millionaire income bracket. Mm-hmm. Doing a little 1% tax on them changes the game. Like that's just, I know you're a teacher.
It funds an entire,
It can just change the game to the middle class. Mm-hmm. Right? To our it makes things easier for us and our family. For being able, now everybody wants to start a business, which is fantastic.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. Love it. So have the lending institutions ease up on the restrictions, right? Those are things that is from a congressperson that you can put pressure on the lending institutions. Now, they might not ever give me no check, and that's cool. They probably won't ever fund me. But put pressure on them so that they are able to help these 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds actually have a real business.
Yes.
And not just give them the runaround and say, well, yeah, you can have a business up north. Because up north, they're giving credit lines all day. But on 87th and Stony, you need a left foot, a little bit of blood, and your second child.
Left foot, a little bit of blood, and your second child.
Right.
That is a hell of a collateral.
Yeah, it is a collateral. But that's the reality.
No, and I think you bring up a really good point, and we don't want to hold you too tough. We obviously got schedules to keep, but we'll take a step slightly outside of politics. And like you said, everything's political, and this might be very political. In Chicago, we know it is, right? So, to your left and to your far right, you have graduates of this institution that they love to tout.
Let me change my voice. It's very, very prestigious.
Yes. Lame tech is how it's.
Lame tech.
Yeah, lame tech.
College tourists.
City prep.
We're so progressive, we dropped our slogan. Mascot. We dropped our mascot because it was discriminatory.
After 150 years
we was fighting for
Yeah, we did that. We did that with
the Indian. They
fought for the 1800s. We fight since the 1800s to get that dropped.
I, of course, graduated the prestigious Proviso East High School.
There's nothing prestigious about that. Absolutely nothing.
Curtsy there.
Yes, all right.
So did you go to high school in Chicago?
Yes, I went to the lovely Mighty Mac Mother Macaulay Liberal Arts High School. Mighty Mac.
How you just cool name that quick though? You made that Mighty Mac up, didn't you?
No, we have a song.
Let's hear it.
We have a song and a chant.
I want to hear it.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Let me hear it.
I will hold your walk.
Okay, are you an M? Are you an MI? Are you an MIJTYMAC? Do you believe we are the best?
Hey.
Do you believe we are the best of all the rest?
Okay.
Wow.
Whoa.
I'm glad you still know that. I couldn't tell you Lane Tech song.
That shit is trash, bro. Singing that in that school because it's not a very large institution.
We're the largest all-girl Catholic school in the country.
How many in the country?
Whoa.
We were.
Montgomery's that large?
Yes. Well,
clearly
back when
I ain't
I
never
went,
been.
it was thousands. No, it was only un poquito black people. That's my
Okay.
that's my black people.
Un poquito.
Slankish, whichever
Un
one it
poquito.
is.
Un poquito black people.
Well,
Yes.
listen, we're going to give you the final word here. Is there
Okay.
Wait,
anything
before you go,
Oh, sorry,
hold
go
on,
ahead.
before you go. I'm going to clear something up.
Yes.
Because I could not talk earlier. I could not get to my details. Yes, I'm back at the fucking 1800s. Excuse my language. If we are doing substantially better now in 2022 as a people, okay, things aren't perfect, they aren't right, they aren't the best or ideal situations for us. I am saying, why would I want to be transported back to a time and place where the treatment was worse? Period. That's all I'm saying.
This question was for somebody.
That wasn't even the
else.
question, that was just a statement.
Oh, okay.
That was no question.
Okay.
So
You just had to win the
we're going to
argument.
give you the final statement here on the show.
I don't care.
Is there anything? But seriously though, right? Like,
Yes, I'll be sure. Chris Brown.
We
Chris Brown down there now, I'll be sure. We sit next to be playing.
Definitely.
Do a duet together, goddammit. That's what y'all do. Play with you guys, man.
Look at Eddie Kane. Him mad.
Eddie Kane.
Him mad.
I would like always better.
Raindrops will fall.
You feel like singing today, huh? Okay.
in your, is there anything that just
I
in
do.
general, our audience, any audience,
Yes.
should know just, about you, about your
Yes.
campaign, about your platform? Like, how would you like to
Close
kind of
this.
leave the people?
Very short. This election is June 28th. And I'm asking and pleading, to ask everyone to vote, but more importantly, tell everyone else about the election. On this ballot, there's plenty of people. Do your research. I want people to be informed voters. But I feel after you do your research, I am honestly the best candidate. And not just because it's me, but because we need someone at this time who's actually from the community and who can actually bring resources to the community. And who can do it on day one, who can be unapologetic about it, and who can be an advocate in D.C. for it as soon as I get there. And so my ask is on June 28th to vote for me. So my name is Charise Williams. Very easy, CW. I'm fourth on the ballot.
Oh, you got 4.
I got 4. Yeah, I don't know what
Nice.
my punch
That's a
number
good number.
is.
That's a good number.
It's a good number.
It's a West
yes.
Side number.
Oh, okay.
It is.
But June 28th, vote for Charise Williams. It's a West Side number. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah, it's a West Side number.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Charise, for coming.
Thank
So
you.
very glad you
Absolutely
could come.
loved it.
Feminine and
Thank you, Rico
ladylike.
Nance.
She's such a fucking lady. Yes, I am.
Thank you, Rico Nance. Thank you, Kimon Kendron. Thank you, everybody. Mike P, everybody a part of chemistry. And I think that's going to close us on up out of
I
here.
think so, man.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'm having an event May 12th.
Oh, that's right.
At Chemistry.
Oh,
it's
dope.
my birthday fundraiser.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
What
So,
Aquarius sign? What astrological sign
I'm a
is that?
Taurus.
Taurus.
It's Taurus season. We coming in. We
Mother
open
Mac,
the doors.
Taurus.
Yeah,
Wow.
bullheaded.
That's trouble. Absolutely
Okay.
trouble.
Yes.
Okay.
So May 12th, back at Chemistry. Cootie Simmons and Jay Ivy.
Jay Ivy. Shout out Jay Ivy.
You gotta holler at you, Cody.
Yes.
Gotta holler
Will
at you,
be
Cody.
our, my guest speakers, my guest host. So thank you for the fam for doing that. And I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Absolutely, man. It's the Corner Combo episode. What we at? 97.
I'm clapping again for that. I like
97.
that.
Yeah,
97,
absolutely.
man.
How many times do you think we say 1800s in this show? A lot. They're going to think we're selling
We on the corner. We on the corner.
We're going to get some of this and exploitation away from us. Some of us has come together against the communists.